All right. Hello all. My name is Shiva. I'm the technical solutions architect at HYCU, and thank you very much, Rom, for having me on this session. It's always a pleasure for me to do a quick overview of what we offer, especially when it comes to emerging technologies. So, really happy to be here. With that being said, today I just wanted to quickly go over our patented application aware data protection that basically promotes to the overall application resilience. Um, and the one thing that I just wanted to make sure is to be a fully platform agnostic. I mean, it really doesn't matter where your applications are running. I mean, could be in your on-prem or in your public cloud infrastructure. Uh, and it doesn't matter the kind of applications that you're running. It could be your traditional databases, or it could be your typical enterprise applications, or this could be like your containers. Regardless of the type of applications that you have, just wanted to showcase how we can offer a comprehensive application aware data protection, migration, and disaster recovery use cases. So with that being said, just wanted to provide a quick overview about who we are and what we do. So our office, like we're based out of Boston. We are headquartered in Boston, but we do have offices around the globe. We do have offices in Austin, Texas, and even in Chicago, and also one in Chicago. And our total strength basically comes down to around 300 plus employees. So we are a very young company when it comes to building out a multi-cloud application-aware data protection solution. However, our experience is way more than the life of our company. I mean, when we started, especially. Because our engineers, even before we came up with HYCU, were extremely experienced in building data protection solutions for blue chip companies like HP, EMC, and we basically made use of that experience to come up with one of the most simplistic yet an enterprise ready, highly scalable data protection solution that is truly ready to cater to multi-cloud workloads. So we're not just talking about your traditional on-prem workloads. We are also talking about protecting your workloads in your typical public cloud hyperscalers. I'm talking about Google Cloud, Azure, AWS, and basically bringing this whole concept of hybrid cloud data protection together in one single pane of glass. And that is exactly what we offer. Right. And we are seeing an increasing adoption as time goes on. Like, we have basically sold our solution across the globe. We have sold our product to more than 75 countries, and we actually have more than 3,000 plus customers across the globe. So, with that being said, I just wanted to start with, what is the main reason, or what is the underlying use case of our, the underlying use case that we address when it comes to HYCU's multi-cloud data protection solution. So across the spectrum, be it with regards to customers in on-prem or in public cloud, we notice that there is this one universal problem when it comes to managing their overall infrastructure, and that would be these diverse set of applications. And as I pointed out before, these could be your traditional databases, your typical enterprise applications, or these could be highly customized containerized applications, right? And when it comes to this diverse set of applications that has to be managed within a single pane of glass with seamless data protection, data mobility use cases, it turned out to be an extremely strenuous task, because as we all know, it all comes down to not just the type of application, but also the type of infrastructure these applications are being hosted from. So for instance, when it comes to a typical on-prem infrastructure, you usually tend to have an extremely diverse set of hardware that has an extremely different set of hardware specifications that dictate the overall RPOs and RTOs. And especially when you're trying to leverage that existing infrastructure and basically have those applications within that hardware infrastructure to be made into a cloud ready application, where you basically want to ensure that these applications can be moved to the cloud as a part of a DR strategy, or as a part of an overall migration strategy to move from an on-prem to a cloud infrastructure. that in itself takes a lot of planning and consideration, and it basically is a fully time consuming process, because when it comes to application movement, especially from one infrastructure to another infrastructure, application consistency plays a huge role, because if you don't move your applications in a consistent manner, then there is a huge chance of data corruption, and the downtime of these applications, especially when they're business critical, can have devastating impacts on a customer's environment. And in addition to that, especially when folks have moved to their respective public cloud infrastructure and have adopted to, let's say, a containerized workload, how does that basically, or what does that really mean when it comes to application resiliency in terms of data protection, in terms of data mobility, or even in terms of disaster recovery? So there's a lot of questions that has to be answered, especially when you have a diverse set of applications that can span across multiple platforms. And this is exactly how we solve the problem, right? The first thing that we offer is we fully understand the application stack, regardless of the kind of applications that you're running. And we basically offer a full-fledged application-aware agentless data protection that actually helps you to achieve application-consistent backups. And using that concept, we have the ability to basically start with your on-prem infrastructure and help your customers to help our users to basically seamlessly lift and shift these applications to their respective public cloud platform. And mind you that this whole migration or lift and shift is not just unidirectional. It can be bidirectional too. So if you basically wanted to move your applications from your cloud back to your on-prem infrastructure, we could aid you in that as well, meaning that you can truly have a full-fledged hybrid environment where you can have a subset of applications running on your on-prem and a subset of applications running in the cloud. And for customers who have fully adopted to run their workloads on a public cloud infrastructure, we also provide a full-fledged SaaS-based offering to protect all of their applications and workloads running within their respective public cloud infrastructure in an application consistent manner. So this is exactly how we offer an overall application aware data protection for all of our customers. So just wanted to do a quick time check, Ron. I believe I have 10 minutes. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. So let's start with how we go about offering the first level of data protection, be it with regards to your workloads running in your on-prem or in your public cloud, or regardless of the type of application. Could be a containerized workload, or could be a typical enterprise application or a database. How does HYCU basically start with providing an application consistent data protection? So the first thing that I want to point out is HYCU offers you a full-fledged automated application discovery. As a matter of fact, this is our patented technology where we have the ability to not just automatically discover your underlying virtual machines or your underlying platform, but we can automatically discover all of your applications running within these virtual machines, be it with regards to your on-prem or with regards to your cloud infrastructure. And the best part here, be it with regards to discovery or be it with regards to performing application consistent backups, we don't need any agents or plugins. And that has always been one of the high selling points, because especially for enterprise environments where you have thousands of VMs and thousands of applications, you don't have to go about managing those applications by installing or maintaining those agents, or worrying about any potential performance impact because of those agents. Like, we are fully agentless, meaning that we also achieve application consistent backups with no plugins or no agents to be deployed on the source server. And in the process, we do offer assured application consistency of every data protection, right? Or of every backup, be it with regards to a custom application or an enterprise application, traditional databases, or even containerized applications. And from there, we also provide you the ability to perform granular recovery. I'm not just talking about full application level recovery to your existing platform or to a cloud platform. We also have the ability to basically drill down into that application and provide you the ability to recover individual databases at the exact point in time, or basically recover a specific part of that application to whatever destination that you want to. And in addition to that, especially when it comes to customized applications, we have a detailed pre-post framework that actually helps you to run customized scripts to quiesce these applications. And that actually ensures that every backup that you take using HYCU for these custom applications are by default application consistent. And last but not the least, for every platform, we have the ability to leverage your native snapshots. So for instance, if you're using Google Cloud or if you're using Azure, we basically integrate with the native snapshots when performing application consistent backups. And these snapshots can be leveraged to basically do rapid restores of your applications as well. I mean, this is basically in addition to your offsite backup copies. We can also leverage your existing snapshots for an extremely fast recovery of your applications. So on an overall, this basically gives you the fundamental approach of HYCU when it comes to discovering and protecting your applications. So once we have established this, we extend our data protection into a bidirectional application lift and shift between your on-prem and your public cloud infrastructure, meaning that when it comes to moving your workloads back and forth, you don't need any plugins or you don't need any agents. The entire movement is fully seamless. And we have the ability to leverage your public cloud hyperscaler as a DR target. We currently have many customers who basically leverage Google Cloud and Azure and even AWS as a DR target, where they basically run their infrastructure within their on-prem, Nutanix or VMware environment, and they basically say that, hey, I'd like to use Azure as my DR target, meaning that if their on-prem environment goes down, they have the ability to fail over all of their on-prem workloads directly to the Azure public cloud. And that is the best part here, because the reason why we are able to achieve this is because we are purpose-built for every platform. It's not just for your on-prem, but it's also for your public cloud. And we offer this in a fully consolidated single pane of glass. And that is the true beauty of it. Our usability and our intuitiveness is so remarkable for our customers that they've actually deployed the entire solution by themselves, and the run rate, especially when it comes to the overall adoption, it actually happens within a couple of days, where customers literally deploy our solution and start using it immediately. So the last part that I wanted to talk about, or the third part actually that I wanted to talk about, is the ability to protect your application workloads from ransomware attacks, right? So the whole premise of HYCU is, we've seen several of our customers being impacted by ransomware attacks, and we've ensured that, if their production environment gets compromised, how do we basically secure their backups from being impacted by these ransomware attacks? And we basically do this in three simple ways. The first one is we basically help the customer to secure their entire application backup infrastructure. So we actually have our HYCU solution that offers you a full-fledged air-gap backups, meaning that we have multi-factor authentication, detailed network segmentation, multi-tenancy, a full-fledged a black box architecture, the ability to disable manual backup deletion. Like, there's tons of security capabilities that actually fortify your application backups to a siloed location, meaning that even if your production is compromised, your backups are safely located in a vaulted location, right? That's number one. And even if some application or some malware or some malicious user manages to breach those vaults, we also have the ability to tamper-proof those backups by writing them to worm-enabled object storage, meaning that even a super administrator won't be able to delete those backups until the expiration of those backups are met within that worm capability for that underlying storage. Today we can do backups to Google Cloud's object storage worm. We can support a worm on Azure Blob. We can support a worm on AWS S3. And we also have more than a couple of hardware targets where we support the worm functionality, ensuring the backup immutability from any external ransomware or malicious user behavior, right? And last but not the least, it's not just about protecting your backups, it's also about quick recovery, right? Because usually when a ransomware attack happens in an on-prem infrastructure, that environment can be put on hold for a couple of weeks because they might be going through a pending investigation to see how the attack exactly happened, which means the entire business has to be put on hold for a couple of weeks. And frankly, organizations cannot afford that. So HYCU provides them a quick alternative of restoring all of those workloads to their preferred cloud vendor. So we actually have helped customers to basically set up a full-fledged ransomware recovery strategy where they can actually fail over all of their on-prem backups to a respective public cloud infrastructure at a snap of a finger, right? So this is exactly how we basically protect applications from ransomware attacks. So to summarize, what HYCU delivers is we provide a full-fledged application adoption for a hybrid cloud infrastructure, where we deliver full-fledged application-aware backups for all of our on-prem and for our public cloud customers. And we also have the ability to provide a seamless bidirectional lift and shift in a full-fledged application consistent manner between your on-prem and your respective public cloud infrastructure. And last but not the least, our unparalleled backup security ensures that your application backups are fully secured from ransomware attacks. I mean, this is not just a marketing gig. We have literally helped several customers who have been impacted by ransomware attacks by recovering their application workloads on their on-prem infrastructure, and they didn't even have to pay a penny to these cyber perps. So again, thank you very much for attending the session. If you would like to know more about our solution, please visit us at www.hycu.com. If you'd like to look into a demo of our solution or basically deploy our solution in your on-prem infrastructure, then you can visit www.hycu.com/demo-HYCU. And if you have any further questions about our solution, please reach out to us at info@hycu.com.